Okay, this is a TV show called Flashpoint. It used to be on Kenneth Copeland's TV network, or maybe it still is. Anyway, they're their own independent thing now. They are about as far right extremist as you can get on this show. They support Trump to their dying breath. It's wild. I want to listen to what they have to say here. They stopped naming their videos. Now it's just named Flashpoint 7-8 for some reason. But yeah, let's give this a listen.
Flashpoint, so many things happening in our world today. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to cover as much as we can in the next hour. Let me welcome who's with us tonight: Lance Wallnau, Rick Green, and our good friend Luke Ball. Paul Petit's going to join us in just a moment.
Okay, Rick Green, top left, runs this organization called Constitution Alive Training or something, and he basically trains people to be weird little nutcases who are obsessed with how Jesus is all over the Constitution, even though he never was. And the dude in the bottom left, this is Lance Wallnau. He is a right-wing nutcase who prays with Donald Trump regularly. He's like one of Trump's faith advisors or whatever. Top right is a popular staffer in Washington, D.C. He was a staff member for Madison Cawthorn and a bunch of other people. And bottom right, I'm not familiar with this one.
Live from the flood area here in South Central Texas. But let's get started here with, this is what happened in Kerrville County press conference earlier.
Oh, Kerrville, like Kerrville, Texas, I assume. That's where my sister used to live back in the day.
Here today, watch this.
Hundreds of first responders remain along the Guadalupe River in Kerr County working to reunite families. The large search and rescue effort, including local, state, federal, and volunteer agencies, continue. As of 8 a.m. Central Time, 87 deceased have been recovered in Kerr County, including 56 adults and 30 children. Identification is pending for 19 adults.
Right, they're talking about the flooding, I think, the absolute horror show that's happening in Texas right now. And guess what? While this was going on, you know what FEMA has been up to? FEMA has been reimbursing from FEMA funds. They've been reimbursing basically local law enforcement who are doing overtime working to help Donald Trump, like to protect Donald Trump, basically. Trump gets local law enforcement to act as Secret Service for him, and FEMA is paying for that. So FEMA funds directly going from their funding, which is supposed to be used for helping people, and it's going right into Donald Trump's pockets, basically. That is wild to me. That like these people would be okay with Donald Trump at all after that.
7 children, with 1 additional person still unidentified. At present, 5 Camp Mystic campers and 1 counselor still remain unaccounted for.
And from there, the conference went south. Lance, I don't know if you saw this. Suddenly we didn't get the feed, so I can't show you this, but Lance, suddenly the mainstream media, mainly CNN, started attacking. When did you know? What kind of warnings are there in place?
What, you mean the media is holding people accountable? Is that what you're complaining about right now?
These guys are struggling, trying to find people, hoping for a miracle. And it's like the normal thing we see. The liberal left comes out
and tries to hold people accountable. Are you really complaining about people being held accountable right now? What is wrong with you?
It's an issue if it's them.
By the way, guys, check out my new shop, owenmorgan.com/shop. I have a bunch of really cool designs on there.
Guns blazing, trying to blame this somehow on Trump. Inevitably, it'll be Trump's fault.
God, these people are such victims 24/7.
It's sick. I think Senator Schumer even came out and made some asinine comment about Trump's responsible for this. And what it shows you is that we say it, but I think as a believers program, we need to understand how the powers of darkness can so take over a mind that a tragedy that ought to make common ground with us all, saying what's happening, and of course, how did it happen, becomes an opportunity for being able to spin fictional stories about how Donald Trump is killing people in Texas with, and it gets to the point where not only it loses credibility, but you become agitated because this is actual disinformation spin on demand. And it's so predictable as to make you almost cynical.
Holy shit, dude. I just beat that with 1 second to spare. I was that close. That was nuts. Anyway, these people specialize in spinning this stuff to be beneficial to Donald Trump, as beneficial as possible, and as damaging to people to the left of hunting immigrants for sport as humanly possible.
He said this should be bringing us together and having us all be super upset by this tragedy, but people are spinning it. You're the one spinning it.
Yep, he's literally the one spinning it. Yeah, check this one out. This is a pretty good example of what they're doing. This is just yet another example. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm looking for here. This is Flashpoint. This is what they're all about.
You know, when we look back on Hitler, Hitler went for the youth. The enemy always goes for the youth. We must take up arms and go for our youth.
Did he just call himself the enemy? I feel like that's what's happening right now. The enemy always goes for the youth. We need to go for the youth. That's the types of people that we're listening to right now.
Arms of the truth and of godly principles. But I want you to speak to that and what you're doing there.
Sure. Absolutely vile pieces of trash, honestly.
Without a doubt. Rick, let me get you to weigh in here. I know you've seen stuff now. Rick, you are near Comfort, Texas, south of Fredericksburg. I mean, you're just outside a lot of the damage area, but tell me, what are you seeing and how bizarre is this behavior from the media? You think CNN would get it right, but they keep coming after it.
Yeah, Gene, we're surrounded by it. I mean, thankfully our campus is high ground and we didn't sustain any major damage here. But yeah, I mean, we're literally 13 minutes from one of the major bridges where, bodies were found and a lot of damage happened. And then, of course,
oh, that's right, because Rick Green lives in Texas, I think.
Kerrville and Ingram and Hunt and all of these are our neighbors. These are the communities all around us. And then on the other side of us, out of Travis County, same thing up there where Mark Meckler is and that he talked about last night. So it's all around us. We've been out there and it's, yeah, I mean, Lance's word is right. Agitated is minor. I'm angry.
Oh, well, why are you angry exactly there, Rick? Are you angry because the Democrats? Blah, 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 blah. Is that why? Literally blaming Democrats, like Alpha Force Zero said. You are literally doing the thing you're complaining about right now. These people specifically on screen, these 4 guys or 5 or however many, I don't believe for a second that they don't know what they're doing. I believe that they know full well that they're twisting things around and they're doing it intentionally and knowingly to try to demonize one side unfairly because that's what they want to do.
I also think that they fully don't care what's going on. I think this guy said they found bodies in the river near him. I think he saw or heard or however he got that news and I don't think he cared. I think all he thought of was a way to spin it around, or he didn't think of anything at all.
Yeah, absolutely. He used to be a judge, like in Texas. He was elected judge, and he was a monster, like a moral monster, an evil human being. And he was running against like 9 other people in this big race. And it came down to really between like 2 or 3 of them. So everybody dropped out except for his main opponent. And they all like worked together basically to run against him. And he sued them for, I don't know, election interference or conspiring against him or some other thing. That's how elections work. Are you kidding me? The guy is a colossal scumbag, Rick Green is, and can never, he's a child. He can never, no offense, he can never, like, take accountability for anything or face consequences or anything. Anyway, I don't believe that he cares about any of this either. But if he really did care, he has political sway. He could set up FEMA to be able to help in these types of situations. Certainly locally, he could set up organizations that could prevent this type of tragedy in the future. Does he? No, he doesn't, because he doesn't care. Never cared. It was always about finding a good situation to exploit.
It only matters if it helps or hurts them. If it's affecting them personally, then it's an issue. But
Yep.
until then, it doesn't matter.
That's the bottom line. Dude never cared about anybody or anything but himself.
When I hear these things, and look, you have a choice. You can either look for somebody to blame, or you can look for somebody to help. And these people that right now are
Oh my God. He says, you can look for somebody to blame or look for someone to help. And these people that are blah, 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 and Democrats are doing this and they're blaming all these people. You are literally doing that thing. There is, well, God, I would say that there's no self-awareness, but you can't convince me he doesn't know what he's doing.
I will believe that he actually cares when he brings people from his community into his home and helps them.
Right?
But until he's actively helping someone, he doesn't care about anything except for exploiting the situation.
Until he's doing something tangible, anything, literally anything.
It could be donating extra food that he's not going to eat to some food drive that's helping the people whose homes were destroyed.
He's doing nothing to help anybody. He's just sitting here and complaining and crying and whining.
Are already in the blame game and already trying to make hay out of this politically. It's disgusting and sickening. And I think it's frankly turning off even their own supporters. I thought the Cruz comments last night that you played on Flashpoint were absolutely spot on.
Ted Cruz, I'm not sure which comments he's referring to. Interesting.
I think it was one of his finest moments and not only loving his constituents, but putting everything in perspective. There'll be a time to say, hey, would sirens have helped, or would it have been like the tornado?
If you're on a side that's supporting Ted Cruz and you find yourself saying, and I think his comments were really, really smart, I think he did a really good job then, you're probably on the wrong side.
No, every single time. The time to figure this out is now. It's now. It's not in the future. This is like when when some kind of gun violence situation happens, when a school is attacked or something by a nutcase. The time to talk about fixing this stuff is not in 6 months. It's now. When people are paying attention, it's now. Let's figure this out. How can we make sure that schools are not attacked anymore? The time to talk about whether sirens would help more or not, that's now. What are you talking about? We shouldn't be talking about sirens right now or whatever could fix this situation. This is in the public consciousness. This is in the spotlight, and he knows that better than anybody. As a politician, as a public figure, he knows that what he's saying is complete fictitious trash.
If you wait until the incident is over and no one's talking about it, people are going to say, oh, well, it's not happening, so it's fine. It doesn't matter.
You can't affect change anymore because people just aren't even thinking about it, right? The time's now. We talk about, I don't know about Rick Green, but hypothetically speaking, you, Rick Green, are on the ground. You shouldn't be blaming anybody. You should be looking for solutions to help people, dig people out of rubble, pull them out of rivers, whatever. I, as a political commentator who is nowhere near that area right now, can talk about what we can do politically to solve this so this doesn't happen to others. That's my responsibility. Yours is to shut your mouth and try to save lives. And you know what? Now that he is safe, and that, people are talking about this and the main disaster is over, he can talk about this too. We can all talk about this as members or as citizens of the United States. We can all try to fix these problems.
Tornado sirens that everybody ignores because they overdo it and play them every time there's even a hint. And so, everybody can.
Okay, I've never heard of tornado sirens being overdone. What? No, if it's, if we're dealing with a tornado or there's a potential tornado, I think people should definitely care about that and pay attention. We had a tornado warning the other day. Remember?
Yeah, I was in my therapy building.
And I was at home and we went into the basement and you went into the stairwell, right?
Yeah, because we didn't have a basement there. Also, my therapist said, there's a tornado warning. Maybe we should sit by the window so that we can see how it's going.
Yeah.
And she was being serious. She took her other client showed up and they went and sat by the window so that they could watch the tornado and make sure nothing was being damaged outside, I guess.
Funny, yeah.
But yeah,
well, it turned out that it was okay. The sky had a green tint to it, but it wasn't intense.
But I mean, There were no sirens. I wouldn't have
No, we
known.
didn't have tornado sirens. They gave us the thing. We don't have tornado air horns or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known. I was trying to show her something relating to the appointment, so I was trying to pull it up on my phone, and I opened my phone, and then the Amber Alert went off. Not the Amber Alert, you know what I mean? The tornado alert.
Yeah, the emergency alert. Yeah.
But I wouldn't have gotten it if I hadn't needed to show her something. I didn't get it till like 5 or 10 minutes after.
Yep, it was crazy. So, I definitely think that we should be using tornado alerts and stuff for sure. I don't know what he's talking about here.
Second guess, an armchair quarterback. Right now, what we're asking people to do is not become bitter.
No, right now is the time to armchair quarterback. Absolutely, right now. That's when it should be happening. When everybody is as safe as they're going to be, now we should armchair quarterback.
But start being the person that's going to reach out and love and be smart about how you help. There's so much help. People are coming from the right place. Their heart's in the right place, but it's almost overwhelming. And so just be smart. And I am so thankful, Gene. I am, you know me, I am not somebody to praise government very often.
Is he not? I'm seeing a lot of praising happening just in his background.
Yeah, exactly. Only if it's his side. He praises government constantly, but he's got this persona of being anti-government, so he's going to pretend to know.
But these local governments, these fire departments, these fire chiefs, these sheriffs in this area have done an outstanding job at responding to this. It has really been remarkable. We've been through this with the Wimberley situation 10 years ago, Hurricane Harvey, all those things. I've never seen anything like this. And to the point that those of us that aren't trained, responders in a situation like this need to stay out of the way. We've gone in and helped because of our drones that we have at Patriot Academy and that sort of.
Great. Well, everybody should be using their own skills, right? First responders, like EMTs, they have a skill that's useful, helping people who are dealing with medical emergencies. Firemen have a skill that's useful, going into burning buildings and saving people. Political commentators have a skill, and that is making sure that this stuff doesn't happen again. And he knows that's the case. And he's just trying to get opposition. He's trying to get people who are critical of him and his side to shut up instead of trying to fix this situation.
I saw a video with an older woman. She was trapped in the flood riptide or whatever.
You talking about the undertow?
I don't know.
Okay,
It was in the flood.
All right, go on.
And she had like limited mobility, so she couldn't swim to get out of it, even if she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people. They had life vests on. They had a huge rope, and like 15 people went in and helped her get out of that. Just went in, grabbed her, made sure they weren't gonna fall in and get sucked under, and pulled her out and into a safe area. People are helping. He's choosing to not help. He can help. He doesn't even have to do that. He doesn't have to go out there in the middle of the flood and grab someone off of the street and say, "Here, let me get you somewhere safe." All he has to do is say, "We need to do something."
Like this fine gentleman right here.
Yeah.
Helping people.
Yeah.
Of course, this is on Wikipedia labeled AI-generated Donald Trump wading through floodwaters. And this is from years ago, actually. But it's making the rounds again. People claiming it's real. It's so nice of Trump to go out there and help people, putting himself in danger. As if he could buckle his own, life preserver. As if he'd wear a life preserver. That's gay. That's what gay people do.
But yeah, point is, all this guy has to do is say, we need to have protections in place so that this doesn't happen again. And he's not doing that.
Right.
It's the simplest task.
And again, this guy is the person that should be doing that should be saying that stuff. As a political commentator with influence, he should be doing this. And he's intentionally discouraging anybody from saying or doing anything that could better the situation for the future. He's a colossal scumbag, this guy is.
If this guy looked at his camera dead in the eyes and went, we should have warnings in place so that people know when there's a flood and know to evacuate. That would be all I needed. If he just did that, and I'd say, good, he's doing his job. He's not even doing that. He's saying we shouldn't. He's saying we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't talk about it.
Dude's a colossal scumbag. Always has been, honestly. Disgusting.
Someone said if Trump was smart, he'd be down there doing that just for the photo ops.
Yeah, totally.
I'm actually surprised he hasn't done anything like similar to that, gone to a dangerous situation where he's not in danger just so that he can, look at a camera, say, hey, I'm helping guys.
Well, he knows he can lie and claim that he did, and people will believe him. Like on 9/11, he claims that he was down there on the ground helping people on 9/11 when he was actually in his Trump Tower calling CNN, telling them that he now has the tallest building in Lower Manhattan.
That's so funny,
Finding
so
on
stupid, and so
9/11.
disrespectful.
Have you ever heard that video?
I haven't. I just, I feel like during 9/11, there were less videos being recorded of people being down there. But if you see the President of the United States at your local, whatever, flood, helping people, you're going to record it. You're going to take a picture. You're going to do something.
Well,
so it'll work for his, wow.
this is a real
Look at him.
unedited image of Donald Trump on 9/11.
Mhm.
He has a lot more wrinkles on his face than I expected him to have 25 years ago. But anyway, real, unedited.
Those wrinkles on his face, they're just from him being so caught up and worried about his fellow community.
Totally.
It's real and unedited, guys. Don't worry.